Hey guys, so today what we're going to be making is this side table just here. It is what we make at my school as the Year 9 project. It's got quite a few good woodworking skills in it that are going to improve them as woodworkers. And I also thought it was going to be a really good project to look at in terms of making on Inventor and giving people skills in regards to making a little bit more advanced timber projects that use multiple joining techniques on Autodesk Inventor. So we're going to start off by creating a new file here, metric, standard millimeters, and going to create. So I'm just going to move this off to the side screen here. We're going to make all the parts first. This might be a 3 videoer. We're going to need to make the parts, do some assemblies, and then finally make the drawings for these. So it is going to take a little while, but not too bad. So the first thing we're going to do is start off with our center column. And that's going to be 70 by 60 in size. So we've got that. And we're going to do this and create this. So we're going to go 70, tab 60, press enter, and we've got our size there. Right click and go OK. We're going to need to extrude this 450 millimeters. So 3D model extrude and 450. Cool. Alright, so now what we can do next is do our housing joint for our cross halving joint that we make afterwards. So we're going to click on the top here and make a new sketch. So it's just like if you were, say, cutting this out with a saw here. We're going to get our center lines. And then we can start using our offset tool. So we're going to have some 19 by 42 that we need to fit in here. So we need to make the offsets for these 9.5. Alright, and we've got that all set. So now we've got those all set up. Now the one thing about this is we do need to actually join up the ends of these. This is important due to the fact that when we're cutting or extruding something, we need a full shape, not a partial outline. When we do it, we can delete these center lines now because we no longer need these. We can then quickly trim the insides. Right click and go OK. So now we've got that there, and we need to extrude that down 42 millimeters. So if we go 3D model, extrude, click on that, and as you can see there, it's going up. So we need to make it a cut. We don't want to cut it all the way through. We're going to change this to 42 and go OK. So now we've made our housing that's going to fit that's going to fit our cross halving joint into it. Now we need to do the part down the bottom that has our dowel joints in it. So to do this, we're going to click on the side here and do a new sketch. Now this is going to take a little second because we need to do all 4 sides. And we're going to do, so that needs to be in the middle of our bit of 42 by 19. So again, we know that half of 19 is 9.5. Oh, no, we're not going to do that, sorry. We're going to make half of the 42 because we're going up, we're not going widthways, we're going lengthways. So we can dimension this at 21 because that's obviously half of 42. Make a couple of circles on it. We can dimension them after 9.5, enter, and 9.5, enter. Alright, so that's our hole size we've got set up there, and we're going to do these going in, well, 25 millimeters. I'm going to space these out 15 millimeters from the edge. I take that back. We're going to do the 60 side is going to be 15 millimeters from the edge, and the 70 side is going to be 60 millimeters. So let's quickly double check. That's the 60 side. So this is going to be 15. And it's the center of the hole is going to be that. So I almost had that perfect, funnily enough. Get these set up. Just like that. Right click, OK. And now, like, as we go around, I'm going to delete that line because we don't need it. 3D model, extrude. Click on our circles. and we're going to change the distance to 25, make it cut, and go okay. So we're going to be using 50mm dowels, and so it's important that we're cutting 25mm in both sides. So now we've moved over to the other edge, so you can see here that that is 70 now. So we need to do, so another way we could do this is we go 9.5, 9.5, and then we could literally just dimension them. So there's two ways to do it. You can do it with a locating line, or you could do it with a just by using the dimension tool. I don't know. I feel like the location line is quicker, but I'm not sure. I guess it's whatever you're comfortable with going to be quicker. And then let's cut these bad boys out. It's already set to 25, so you just need to change that to cut and go okay. And then we can spin it around, and let's do this side. So just knowing that I'm the opposite to the other one, I should be able to find, where's the middle, there, and make it 9.5, and again make this one 9.5, 3D model extrude. So because they're obviously going to be, well, wanting them to be as uniform as possible on both sides, we're going to try to do that. So again, we can do that on this side and try to find those lines on this side. So there we go. 9.5, 9.5. It's really good how this software actually helps you out a lot in that way. Okay, so now we've actually got our center column pretty well all sorted out. So we've got all the dowel positioning done, and we've got the housing for that. Last thing we could do is go to Tools, Materials. I'm going to type in here radiator. We are going to be making this out of radiator pine. So now we've got it set to the material that we're going to be. So let's save this. You can tell that I was working on the that. You can see there we had last year we had a version 1, we're up to V2. Just call it that, and calling it center column. Saving there, and I'm also going to keep it down the bottom. So if I have forgotten or made any mistakes with any measurements, I can correct that. So now we need to go up here to new in the top left. Again, making sure we're in metric, you might need to press these arrows, metric, standard millimeters, and go create. So now what I'm going to do is a little bit easier than the first one that I did. We're going to create the feet that are going to be dowel jointed on. Now all of these are the same. In the old drawing that I had, they were all different. Well, there was two different types. So this makes it a lot easier. So we're going 175, tab, and this, again, this is out of 42 by 19. So now this is going to be 42. Right click OK, and let's go 3D model extrude, and we need to extrude that 19. Now we're moving into doing some of our dowel holes. So let's draw on here. I'm going to use the line tool just because I can get in the middle. Yep, we are going to do it that way. And then I know that the furthest one is going to be a lot. 35 plus 17.5, so what's that? 40, 52.5. Alright, and then we can do these. So we do one at the end because I know that's the furthest going to be 9.5. And this one was going to be 17.5. So we'll find a point on here. 9.5 steel. Dimension. Alright, and that's set up to go. Just delete that. 3D model extrude. Now these are through dowels, so they're going to go all the way through this piece. So I can literally just go here. It's 19 set already, so I can just cut it all the way through and just double checking that it did go through. And the last thing I'm going to do is do a nice 20 millimeter, what are we trying to say? Fillet on this end here. I'm going to change that to 20. Set that and go okay. So now we've got that all set. The last thing we need to do is actually go to tools, materials, and set this to radiator as well. And we can save this as dowel. So I know that's the foot that's going to be doweled into place. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the two different cross halving joints that we need to make, or two cross halving pieces that we need to make. So starting a 2D sketch, coming in here, making a rectangle. Now these are going to be 350 long and made out of the normal 42 by 19. So I can go 350 and then go tab and go 42 and press enter. Pressing on this to get it centered. Now we just need to extrude this 19 millimeters. Alright, so we've got our stock length there. Kids that make this actually start with a bit that's like 720 long or something and then cut it out. So we're starting off with this stock length here. Now I need to make the actual cutout in the middle there. So I need to select this. And we're going to go in the middle, which it should find itself just like that. We're going to go down 21. Now the same trick we did previously, we're going to offset this line 9.5, offset this line 9.5, and then draw a line in between them. Right click OK, and then we're actually going to delete that line in the middle. Like I've said previously, we need to make sure we use solid outline, so no gaps. Right click, now I can cut this out. So 3D model extrude. Let's go cut. Okay, so now that's actually set, basically ready to go. Last thing I'm going to do is for this one, I'm going to do the chamfer on the top, and then the other one I'm going to have to change that chamfer over. It's really easy because that's the only difference between these two. Might change that to 20. Okay, so that's done. I can go save. I'm going to save this as cross halving 1. Save that. Now I can just delete that. I can go to fillet. I can go this way. And that's all good there. Alright, cool. And then I just need to go make sure I go file, save as. So I can change that to cross halving too. Alright, awesome. Last thing we're going to do is actually do some little feet for this bad boy. So if we go new, create sketch, literally just going to be a rectangle, but it's important to have this little hardwood step on the bottom anyway. So 19, tab, 42. Alright, so there's that, and we're going to go 3D model extrude, and we're literally going to extrude at 10. We didn't actually set these either, so I need to go back and go to materials and make sure I set these to the material that we're going to be using as well. I'm going to quickly save that. I will have to do the other cross halving one in a second. Let's go to tools, materials. Now this is where it gets a little bit different because we're actually using hardwood jarrah for these feet normally as well, because you need it for a bit of strength on the bottom there if you're going to be using it. Okay, so now we've done that, I need to save this as foot. Should have probably saved that as dowel leg before, because it's the leg coming out. Now we need to make the top, which is super duper easy. Creating this, make a rectangle. We're literally just going to extrude a 400 tab 400 rectangle. Rectangle square is a square. 4 equal sides, 4 equal angles. We're going to extrude it 17 millimeters because that is how thick our veneer particle board is. Now the depressing thing about this is that we don't have a veneer particle board option for this. Oh, hold up, maybe they do. But normally you can like see the particle board edge. I'm probably going to use this, closest thing they've got, and then save that as top. Alright, and then I think you would have seen before, you can see here that the edge strip for the top is all cut out as well. So I can bring that back over, and we need to make that as well to put that together. So now metric, standard millimeters, create, start a sketch. Now we're going to need to make one of these because luckily for us all these sides are even, so that is a very good thing. So now I'm going to go create. I'm going to make this to be, I need to check my measurements for this one. What are we going? Okay. So the outside edge we need to make bigger than the inside edge, and that's going to be 415. No, we're not. That's the wrong measurement. So that's going to be 10. Tab 415. Enter. Okay, and then we can go. That's the side. So then we need to cut a 45 off of this, which is actually pretty easy. So we're going to go 3D model extrude, and we can extrude this 17. Alright, so now what we're going to do, go in here, and we can cut this 45-degree angle. So we can go line, here, there, there, and dimension it, and cut our 45 like that. So again, line, 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 just there, and we can, where are we, dimension, okay, so then you can see they're both the same. We can go 3D model, extrude, and we need to cut these triangles out. Or you let me select it. So sometimes you need to zoom in, could get a bit funny like that. And go okay. So now we've got our edge strip. Now I like to make the edge strip the same color as the feet. Adds a little bit on the edge of the tabletop, so it's not just all that kind of bright color or white color or beigey pine color. So I normally set it like that. So now we've almost got everything. So there's actually one last thing that we need to make, and that's actually the dowels that go into the holes that we created previously. And these aren't going to be normal dowels. So if we're making a normal dowel, I'd make a circle, I'd make it 9.5 because that's the size of the dowel, and then I'd extrude it 50 millimeters. But in real life, they do start off 50 millimeters, and you cut them. For these, we need to make them so they fit perfectly into the hole. So what we're going to do is go model, extrude, and so it's going to end up being 25 plus 19, which is 44. So it's going to be 44 millimeters long as opposed to the normal 50. Okay, we actually use oak dowel. So if I go tools and I go materials and type in the top here oak, I can assign that to our piece there. It also makes it nice and they stand out a little bit on the project as well. If I go 3D model, last thing I want to do is actually put a chamfer, and it's only a 2mm chamfer that we want to put around these. If I was being super, actually Control Z, I only want to put a chamfer around one edge, the edge that's actually going in the hole because that's accurate. The other edge is going to be chopped off and sanded like in real life, so it'll look nice like that. We also use fluted dowels, but I'm not gonna do the fluting around these because it's not really relevant. So now I can save this, and so 44mm dowel, and save that. Okay, so this video is definitely long enough. I have made all the pieces for my table. I've made the edge strip, tabletop, the foot, the two pieces for the cross halving legs, as well as the dowel leg, and I've also made the center column. So it's all ready to go and be put together. So in the next video, I'll be assembling all of the parts.